Life after 80 is often pictured as peaceful, quiet mornings, restful days, and time to simply enjoy the moment. But for many, the reality is very different. At this age, the world doesn't slow down with you. It keeps moving. And sometimes it feels like it's moving on without you. Friends you've known for a lifetime begin to leave. Children grow busy with families of their own. And the once lively house turns still. The silence grows longer. And though it's rarely said out loud, loneliness becomes a quiet, constant presence. It's not just the absence of people. It's the aching feeling that life is carrying on, just out of reach. You begin to notice fewer phone calls, fewer knocks at the door. The days stretch on, filled more with memories than with moments. And there's a kind of quiet sadness that settles in, the kind that comes from missing the noise, the purpose, the simple connection that used to fill each day. You think of the times your home was alive with laughter and conversation, when your name was spoken often, when someone always needed you. Now you wake and wonder if anyone is thinking of you at all. Many elders keep these feelings tucked away. They smile when family visits. They say, "I'm fine," without letting the truth show. But behind closed doors, when the quiet returns, it can feel like a weight pressing down on the heart. Loneliness at this age is more than a feeling. It becomes a shadow that follows you, even in a room full of people. There's also a deep realization that time doesn't wait. The people you love may not always be there, and the body you've depended on for decades begins to slow. You start to feel invisible. Conversations happen around you, but not always with you. And sometimes all you can do is sit by the window, watching the world go by, wondering if anyone ever stops to think about what it's like to be left behind. That's why it matters to talk about this, to give these emotions a voice instead of pretending they don't exist. Many seniors have been taught to be strong, to keep going without complaint. But strength doesn't mean silence. These feelings, this loneliness, it's real, and it deserves to be acknowledged. Because once we speak about it, something begins to shift. Others start to understand that aging isn't just about wrinkles or gray hair. It's about learning to carry a quiet kind of emptiness that words often fail to explain. And even though it's hard, talking about it can make a difference. It reminds us that we are not truly alone, that others are feeling the same way, silently wishing for a hand to hold or a kind voice to hear. So if these words speak to you, please know this: you are not alone. These are the unspoken truths that many carry deep inside. And by facing them together, we can begin to find small ways to heal. Moments of connection, shared stories, a phone call, a walk, even a simple smile from a neighbor. These things can begin to fill the empty spaces, even if just a little. Before we go deeper, if you found comfort in these words, if they've made you feel seen, please consider subscribing to this channel. When you do, and turn on the bell icon, you'll always be reminded when the next video comes. Another small light on the journey. Your support means more than you know. Now let's talk about one of the hardest truths many seniors quietly face every day. The first brutal reality after 80 is that true companionship becomes rare, and loneliness grows louder. In earlier years, you could count on a visit from a friend or a surprise phone call. Even if you were alone for a little while, someone would show up soon enough. But over time, that circle begins to shrink. The friends you once saw regularly are no longer around. Some have moved in with their children far away. Others have quietly left this world. The neighborhood changes. The familiar faces are replaced with new ones who hardly stop to say hello. And so the days grow longer. The rooms grow quieter. It's not just the stillness. It's the feeling that your silence goes unnoticed. Some elders begin to talk to old photographs or greet the plants on their balconies like old friends. They speak out loud to the television or simply to themselves, not because they're confused, but because it brings a bit of comfort, a bit of sound. The heart never stops craving connection. But the world feels faster now. Too rushed to slow down and sit for a while. Even when family visits, the conversations can feel hurried. They ask how you're doing, bring a few things, and then they're gone, back into their busy lives. And what they leave behind is often a silence heavier than the one before. This reality hits hard, because when you reach an age where your heart longs for closeness more than ever, you often find yourself with fewer people to share it with. But even in this, there is hope. Some seniors take steps, small ones, to find new forms of connection. a nearby park, a neighborhood group, a short video call with a grandchild. It may not replace the companionship of old friends, but it helps. A single kind word, a warm cup of tea shared with someone, even a familiar face across the street. It can make a world of difference. Loneliness is real and it hurts. But knowing that and speaking it out loud is the first step to finding new light in these later years. Connection still matters. You still matter. And even now, there are moments waiting to remind you of that. The second brutal reality many seniors face after 80 is the quiet pain of being left out of conversations, of decisions, of the very moments that used to center around them. There was a time when your opinion mattered deeply, when people turned to you for advice, listened to your words, and included you in every important discussion. You were the anchor of the family, the one who kept things steady. But slowly, that begins to change. You start to notice decisions being made without you. Conversations happen in another room, or quickly over a phone call you weren't part of. You might overhear talk of moving you to a smaller place, hiring someone to help, or even handling your finances, all without anyone sitting down and truly asking, how do you feel about this? Even if your loved ones mean well, their silence speaks volumes. And it hurts, because this is not about control. It's about dignity. It's about being seen, being heard, being valued. After a lifetime of giving your all for your family, your work, your community, you deserve to have a say in what happens next. But so many seniors begin to feel invisible, as if their voice doesn't carry the same weight anymore. Imagine sitting in your own home, hearing plans for holidays or life changes being made around you, without anyone turning and saying, "What do you think, Mom?" Or "Does that sound okay to you, Dad?" Over time, this chips away at something inside. It makes you feel like a guest in your own life, rather than the person who helped build it. Many elders carry this quietly. They don't want to upset anyone. They don't want to seem difficult. So they smile and go along with it, even when their hearts ache for the respect they once had. But it's important to speak up, because your wisdom hasn't faded. Your thoughts still matter. And when seniors gently remind their families, "I'd like to be part of that conversation," it can help rebuild those bonds. You may not move as fast as you once did, but your insight is timeless. This second truth is painful, yes, but it carries a deeper message. Your voice still deserves to be heard, and it's never too late to speak it. The third brutal reality many seniors face after the age of 80 is the slow, silent feeling of being forgotten by the very people they love the most. There was a time when your presence was needed every single day. Your children needed your care. Your spouse needed your strength. Your friends needed your company. But now, as everyone moves on with their own busy lives, you can feel like you've been left behind. Your children might live far away now. Your grandchildren, once so excited to see you, are caught up in their school, their friends, their phones. Old friends, the ones who once filled your days with laughter, are now too tired to visit, or sadly, no longer here. And so the house grows quiet again. At first, you tell yourself, they're just busy. But then days become weeks, and weeks turn into months. Birthdays come and go with just a short message, or sometimes nothing at all. Family holidays are filled with smiling faces, but you see them only in photos, not in person. That absence hits deeper than most people realize, because being forgotten is not about missing a phone call. It's about questioning your place in the hearts of the people you love most. You find yourself holding old photographs, remembering the days when they needed you for everything. And now, you wait for the sound of their voice. But you stay quiet. You don't want to seem like a burden. You don't want to guilt anyone. So when they do call, you say, "I'm okay," even if your heart feels heavy. You smile through the ache and hang up, hoping the silence won't stretch too long this time. This kind of loneliness is the hardest of all, because it comes from people who are still alive, still there, but feel just out of reach. And yet, even in this painful reality, there is a path forward. Some seniors bravely send messages, make that call, or write a letter to say, "I miss you." Others find comfort in local groups or meet people who truly listen. Because the truth is, the heart doesn't stop needing love, no matter how many birthdays go by. Reaching out, even when it feels difficult, can be the spark that reminds someone else just how much you still care and how much you still need to be cared for. If this truth resonates with you, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel. Your support helps us continue sharing honest stories about aging, about love, and about finding strength in hard times. When you subscribe and turn on notifications, you'll always be reminded that you're part of a growing family, one that listens, understands, and never forgets what truly matters. Now let's move forward to another difficult, but deeply real part of growing older. The fourth brutal reality many seniors face after 80 is the painful loss of independence. It's not just about needing help. It's about losing the freedom that once came so easily. There was a time when you could go wherever you wanted, cook your meals, care for your home, and handle life without asking anyone for anything. But now even the smallest tasks start to feel heavy. Climbing stairs feels like a slow uphill battle. Carrying groceries leaves your arms sore. Cooking becomes tiring. Remembering little things like medication schedules or appointments feels more difficult than it used to. And asking for help, something that once came naturally when others needed you, now feels like swallowing your pride. For many seniors, this change brings quiet frustration. You think to yourself, I used to do this every day. Why is it so hard now? You may try to hide the struggle, pushing yourself to do things alone, even when it hurts, just to hold on to that last bit of control. There are moments when you feel embarrassed, moments when you wish someone would offer help without making you feel small, moments when you cry in private because you just want to open a jar without struggling or walk across the street without fear of falling. And behind that loss of freedom, there's often a deeper fear. What if I can't stay in my home? What if something happens and no one is there to help? Will I become a burden? These are the quiet thoughts that keep many older adults awake at night. And they are real. Losing independence is one of the most personal and painful changes that come with aging, not just because of what it takes from your body, but because of what it takes from your spirit. But just like the other realities we've explored, this one also offers a chance to grow. Some seniors find new ways to adapt, learning to use small tools that help them stay mobile, building daily routines that bring back a sense of control, or accepting help not as a weakness, but as a shared act of love. Because asking for help does not make you less capable. It simply means you're wise enough to know that strength can also be found in leaning on others. Independence may look different now, but it's still yours. It lives in your choices, in your resilience, in the way you continue to face each day with quiet courage. But even with this reality, there are still ways to adjust without losing hope. Many elders discover quiet strength in using simple tools that make daily life easier. Grab bars in the bathroom, walkers for stability, pill organizers for medication. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of wisdom. Some find comfort in accepting help from kind neighbors, caregivers, or family members, realizing that accepting support doesn't mean losing respect. In fact, it often deepens it. Because when someone offers help with love, it's not pity. It's partnership. It takes courage to adapt, to let others in, to admit when something has become too hard. But in doing so, doors open to connection, to gentleness, and to a different kind of strength. This fourth truth is heavy. But by understanding it, seniors and their families can meet each other with more patience, more care, and the deep knowing that dignity is not lost when you need help. It's woven into how bravely you receive it. The fifth brutal reality many seniors face after 80 is the daily battle with fading health, and the quiet, exhausting way it reshapes every moment. When you're younger, the body feels like your companion. You eat, move, recover, and live without much thought. But in your 80s, the body begins to speak in a new way. It creaks and aches. It tires faster. It takes longer to heal. A simple walk might leave you short of breath. A cold might linger for weeks. Even small tasks, bending down, standing too long, or climbing steps, can feel like steep hills you weren't prepared to climb. And along with this comes a new routine, doctor visits, medical tests, and a growing collection of pills that mark the rhythm of your day. Some mornings begin not with joy or plans, but with measuring blood pressure, managing pain, or just trying to get moving without discomfort. Nights are sometimes restless, not just from aches, but from worry. Every sharp pain, every skipped heartbeat, every dizzy moment sparks the quiet thought. Is something wrong? Should I be concerned? Should I tell someone? It's not just the physical wear and tear. It's the emotional toll too. Many seniors downplay how bad they really feel. They don't want to worry their children. They say, it's nothing, even when it hurts. They keep things to themselves, not out of pride, but out of love. and fear. Fear of becoming a burden. Fear of the next hospital stay. Fear of the day when the body can't keep up at all. And then there's the grief, not for people, but for the simple joys now out of reach. Gardening, once peaceful, now feels painful. Strolling through a market becomes too tiring. Even sitting on the floor to play with a grandchild may feel impossible. These moments seem small, but when they pile up, they carry weight. They whisper reminders of everything you used to do so effortlessly. Still, even here, many elders find a different kind of strength. They begin to celebrate the small wins, a good night's sleep, a meal enjoyed without pain, a walk taken without stopping. They learn to move more gently, more slowly, but with more presence. They grow softer toward themselves. They accept help, rest more, and find peace in quiet days. Fading health may be an undeniable truth, but it doesn't mean life has stopped. It simply asks to be lived differently, with patience, grace, and love. Growing older past 80 isn't just about counting years. It's about living through layers of truth, often unspoken, often held behind kind smiles. These 5 brutal realities, loneliness, being left out, feeling forgotten, losing independence, and facing fading health, aren't easy. They're deeply human, and many seniors carry them alone, thinking no one else could understand. But talking about them brings light to those quiet places. Naming them makes them less heavy, and hearing them, really hearing them, creates room for compassion. So if you're over 80 and reading this, or if you love someone who is, please remember this. You are not alone. These feelings, these fears, these hopes, they are shared by many. Your worth does not fade with age. Your story still matters. Your presence still has power. You are still needed. You are still loved. And if you're younger, let these words be a soft nudge, a reminder to pause, to call, to visit, to ask, how are you really feeling? Sometimes that one question can mend a day that feels broken. Sometimes your presence is the greatest gift of all. Life after 80 is not only about what is lost. It's about what remains and what grows. Resilience, wisdom, quiet joy, the ability to love deeper, to cherish more, to recognize beauty in the smallest things. Each step forward, no matter how small, becomes a powerful act of courage. These realities are difficult. Yes, but they can also be bridges that connect generations, bring families closer, and remind us all that aging is not just about decline. It's about holding tightly to what truly matters: love, dignity, and the shared humanity that binds us all. Thank you for being here, for reading, for caring. If these words have touched your heart, please consider subscribing. When you do, you help this message reach others who may need to hear it. Seniors who feel forgotten, families who want to understand, people who just need to feel a little less alone. Together, we can keep listening, keep learning, and keep making every year of life deeply meaningful.